Very much indeed. We're going to speak to Nick Freeman in a moment, who is also known as Mr. Loophole. Nick, very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Welcome
Good morning,
to the
Mike.
new Mike Graham
Thank you very
show.
much.
Great to have you here.
Thank you.
I've got to reveal to you, which is what I normally do at this time, Keir Starmer's first tweet of the day. I used to call it his first lie of the day. With all of the things that are going on, with the front pages absolutely chock full of stories about how he's in grave peril, fighting for the future, not only of his party, but of his own prime ministership. He's actually put this tweet out this morning, and this, Nick, for me, sums up the state of Keir Starmer's brain. I love this country. It is the greatest country in the world. We are tolerant, decent and respectful, and unity is our strength. But for too long, proud communities have been failed by politics and left powerless to do anything about it. Our Pride in Place programme changes that. We are giving people the power to build up their communities. We've already invested thousands into communities across Britain. Now we are giving thousands more the opportunity to transform their local area, putting local people in control and building a Britain that works for all. I mean, you'd think he'd literally just woken up from a coma and missed everything that happened yesterday.
I think he's just projecting, isn't he? I think he's just desperate to hang on now. I mean, he'll flip and he'll turn to do whatever he needs to, and there seems to be this inability to accept responsibility for anything.
Yes.
I mean, you know, he appointed Mandelson.
Right.
He knew exactly what he was like.
He could have blocked it, couldn't he?
He might not have known the minutiae, but as you said, you know, you appoint Mike Tyson to be a doorman, you're going to have problems. And you know, he lost his 3 last government jobs, didn't he?
He did.
And
even if you didn't know about the Epstein files and you didn't know what he had done as the business secretary in 2009, giving away, you know, severely sensitive information, even just the things he'd done before, you would have thought would preclude him.
But why wouldn't you do reasonable diligence? If you're appointing someone to be the ambassador, it's the highest office outside this country, surely you'd be absolutely scrupulous about all
It's harder to get a
checks.
YouTube account than it is to become ambassador to the United States of America, apparently.
And then of course, it's not my fault, is it? It's somebody else's fault. I didn't know. The trouble is he needs to know. He needs to accept the responsibility. And I do think this will be his downfall, and it will probably be the downfall of the party. But the frightening thing is, he's probably the best of the bad bunch, and that's what concerns me.
That is a worry. But let's not forget, I mean, it was only 3 days ago when he said that even though he was Prime Minister, he didn't have the power to strip Mandelson of his title. Well, it turns out he does have the power, and it turns out he's now saying he's going to do it.
I think
which is typical Starmer, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
He says one thing, and then he U-turns on it.
All the time.
Literally.
Well, I think this is his 14 U-turns so far.
At minimum, easy.
Something like that. But you know, when the first emails were revealed, he said, I think it last September, I still stand by him. That there was not a flinch. He's my man. I appointed him. I'm happy with him.
And he was not kicked out of the Labour Party.
No.
There was no suggestion that he should leave the House of Lords.
I mean, one wonders. Is there some leverage that Madelson has over him? And I don't know, because it's so bizarre. You think, why isn't he just doing the right thing? Why did he appoint him in the first place? Was this some sort of reward? Was this some sort of sweetener? Or is it just complete naivety? I mean, how can you have a Prime Minister with such ill judgment?
Yes, well, I wonder about
leading
that.
the country, that you couldn't write this sort of judgment.
Well, when Kemi Badenoch yesterday asked him, do you still have confidence in Morgan McSweeney, his Chief of Staff? He gave a very ridiculous kind of answer by any measure, because it wasn't even a politician's answer. No. It was the answer of a man who was deluded. He said, well, because he helped me to get elected, and he's a very key part of the team, of course I have full confidence in him. And you think, that's not the question, you know. It really isn't the question.
No. Does he have full confidence in himself?
Well,
that will be a better question.
That would be a good question. Maybe that'll be next week if he's still here. But I mean, as a lawyer, looking into what vetting was done, I find it just not credible that people didn't tell him about some of this stuff, because
didn't they tell him?
I don't believe that somebody in government in 2009 as business secretary, a senior member of the cabinet, could actually communicate what you would expect to be matters of national interest, matters of financial sensitivity, without somebody in the security services knowing about it.
Well,
surely they must have known.
They must have known, and I understand that he was told on the QT that there are red flags here, you need to be very careful with your appointment. And if that's right, that's why I wonder, is there more to this than we currently know about?
Yeah.
Because this investigation is going to keep on giving and giving, isn't
Yes,
it? I mean,
I think so.
Mandelson's got serious problems now. I mean,
well, he has.
It's almost. I don't want to prejudice any investigation, but it's almost like insider dealing. It's almost like tipping off.
Well, somebody said to me yesterday, in order for a charge of insider dealing to be made and a conviction to be got, you don't even have to have made any money.
No, not
you just
at all.
have to have
Not
given
at
away
all.
the information.
But you know, Mandelson's already gone on record and says, I have no recollection of these 3 payments totaling £75,000.
Right.
And if you look at the dates of the email, I think it was 2009, then you look at the dates of the payment.
Yes.
The following year to his boyfriend or you know, for a course he didn't complete, an osteopathy course that he didn't actually complete. Did he reimburse the money? Did he give it back? Say, thank you very much, I don't actually need that, I'm not doing the course now. No.
It's all terribly grubby, isn't it?
It's very smelly.
I suspect there'll be more people kind of drawn into the web as well. And there may well be other people that Mandelson was sharing information with who we don't know yet.
Well, I also think it's very interesting across the pond. There must be some very twitchy people there.
Yes.
Because the people who are named, I mean, I don't know whether you've seen the interview with, I think it's Melinda Gates.
Yeah.
And there's calls from Congress for all the people that are named, all the high-profile people, obviously including Andrew, to give evidence, sworn evidence, in front of the Congressional Committee.
Yes, and now that the Clintons have relented because they originally said they weren't going to.
I think Gates is going to have to.
Gates is going to have to. I think we've got a clip actually of Bill Gates today talking this week about the allegations that were made against him. Have a look.
Knew a lot of very rich people, and he was saying he could get them to give money to global health. You know, in retrospect, that was a dead end, and I was foolish to spend time with him. I was one of many people who regret ever knowing him.
You've no doubt seen the allegations, including some of them from the last 24 to 48 hours. Are they true?
No, apparently Jeffrey wrote an email to himself. That email was never sent. The email is, false. So I don't know what his thinking was there. It just reminds me, every minute I spent with him, I regret and I, apologize that I did that.
The problem is some of the things that he has sent and some of the information about other people that has come up in those files has been true. Why would he do this and say this about you, do you think?
It's factually true that I was only at dinners. I never went to the island. I never met any women. And so, the more that comes out, the more clear it'll be that although the time was a mistake, it had nothing to do with that kind of behavior.
So Bill Gates there saying that, yes, he did know Jeffrey Epstein. Yes, he did meet him. He didn't go to the island. He didn't have any dealings with any women. He didn't do any of the things that he's supposedly accused of doing. So why doesn't he just go ahead and speak to the Congressional Committee?
He's going to have to.
And say it under oath.
Well, he'll be subpoenaed.
Yeah.
He will be subpoenaed. They'll all be subpoenaed if they don't go in. Obviously, from Andrew's perspective, they can't force him there.
No.
And as a lawyer advising him, my advice would be
not to go.
Don't go anywhere near. Don't speak to anyone. Don't do anything.
Yeah.
But all the people in America, they're going to have to go, and it's going to be fascinating.
But the interesting thing about Andrew's sort of situation is that the more he doesn't cooperate, the more guilty he looks. Therefore, the worse it looks for the royal family, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, did the royal family act soon enough? And there's questions now that the Queen and the royal family knew what he'd been up to. But what were they supposed to do?
Right.
I mean,
but again, I said this yesterday, I feel as though the Queen, and who is probably the most loved member of the royal family of all time, probably was told by Andrew and maybe others that if you make this payment to this woman, that'll be the end of it.
But he's so naive.
But that didn't happen.
No. And who knew that all these 3 million, and there's a lot more to come, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's many more papers to come.
Yeah.
So this is going to keep on giving and giving. So he's stuck, isn't he? Andrew's stuck now because of the interview with Emily Maitlis, where not only was it a car crash, but everything that he said is now proven to be a lie. So he has zero credibility. So he literally has to just shrink away and go and hide, doesn't he?
He does, but the more that goes on, the worse it reflects in a way on his brother the King, doesn't it?
I think Charles the King is going to have to come out and say, listen, we didn't know this. There's going to have to be a positive statement, isn't there? Because without it, people are going to infer, actually, it's a cover-up by the royal family.
Yeah.
And they don't want that. Did they act soon enough? Why did the Queen give £12 million to a woman when... I remember at the time saying, if Andrew's right and he hasn't done anything, well, go and fight it.
Yeah, right.
All along, he should have just said, I don't propose to dignify these comments. I'm not getting involved. I know nothing about it. But once he did that interview, he's
that's the problem, isn't it?
That's it. He's now...
It's
he
Piers
can't recover
Morgan's
from that.
famous phrase is he's invaded his own privacy. So therefore, we can now carry on with the rest of it.
Yeah. So that he's got nowhere to turn, I'm afraid. And he's the author of his own misfortune, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, some
I
might
don't think
say
anyone-
perhaps he should have thought more about that when he was engaged in this kind of behaviour, which might have come back to haunt him,
Randy Andy.
Yeah.
But he was at one stage, if you remember, the most eligible bachelor in the world.
Yeah.
And I think he just lacked guidance. He obviously hasn't got much common sense. He's obviously very arrogant.
He's very arrogant, yeah.
Incredibly arrogant, and even just his facial expressions exude arrogance, don't they? When he's on his horse, people take exception to it because he just looks so arrogant and defiant that he can't help that, really. But I think he's had very poor advice. I don't understand how anyone with any understanding of what would happen when you're being interviewed like that, even if it's not under caution, a live interview, to let him go anywhere near it was suicide. It was kamikaze, wasn't it? It was kamikaze.
And of course, he famously left the interview thinking it had gone rather well. And you kind of go, sorry, what?
What was it? I remember this day well because I went for a pizza in Pizza Express or somewhere, so I remember it very well. And not being able to explain the photograph, the arm round, and then I have this problem where I don't sweat. And if you listen to what I've just watched the Epstein files, funnily enough, the Epstein on Netflix, and she gives a very graphic account of how he was sweating over her. So he's just a liar, isn't he? I'm afraid he's just a liar, a proven liar, and he's dug a hole for himself, and there's no ladder to get out of it.
No, absolutely not. Mr. Loophole is your nickname. It's a nom de guerre, perhaps. Let's talk finally just a little bit about the motoring business.
Okay.
Both Pooch and I were moaning the other day about the ridiculousness of driving now and how expensive it's become and how slow you have to go everywhere. And the most recent thing seems to me to be the sort of the advent of mass numbers of temporary traffic lights.
Well,
what's going on?
What happened is during COVID, all non-essential work stopped.
Yeah.
That was it. They drew a line under it.
Yeah.
And so all the utility companies, water, gas, electric, Wi-Fi companies, they're all paying catch up.
Right.
And what's fascinating is that that they have to do the work. They're being pressurised to do the work. Each company has to pay a separate permit fee. So the council actually gets the benefit of a fee. There's no pressure in terms of time. So you might have the same stretch of road dug up 4 times.
Yeah.
And what they say is the traffic lights are safer than using a man or a woman or a person to regulate the traffic.
Yeah.
So it's under the guise of safety. So it's sort of urban congestion, urban gridlock under the guise of traffic safety management, which is complete nonsense. So they're making money out of it. They're not encouraging them to get on with it.
Right.
And there's no coordination.
Is there a rule about when they're allowed to work on it? So, for example, when I came in this morning, I go through 2 temporary traffic lights. There's nobody working at all.
No. And once the council's got the permit fee, there is no pressure, no incentive on them at all to make sure that the job is done and done quickly. So that's it. All they want is they want the money, and it's a nice little earner for them. And then it's up to the gas company or utility company to do what they want. They're not under pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, as with all roadworks, there should be a 24/7 operation. Yeah. That's it. It should just be, we've got this contract, this is how much we're going to be paid for it, and we're working 24/7 till it's finished.
Right.
And when you do see people working, that they're in the van, they're having a sandwich, they're having a coffee, and that's why drivers are so frustrated, because they're sitting gridlocked. They can't move.
Yeah.
And if there is someone there, they're not working.
Yeah.
And it's just really frustrating, isn't
Yeah.
it? Particularly when you think of the amount of money we pay to actually try and get from A to B.
Well, particularly that, but people driving through London are paying sometimes as much as 25, 35
Well,
quid.
congestion charge, I think it's going up to
It's
18.
gone up to 18 quid.
It is 18
It
now.
is, and if you're coming in paying another charge of ULEZ or something like that, that's another 12 or so.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're paying 30 quid a day to
Just for the privilege of sitting in gridlock traffic.
Yeah.
And then you've got your parking.
Oh, don't talk to me about parking. We've got parking issue here, actually, funnily enough, which I've just got 3 tickets for. I might have to hire you to get out of it, because I think there might be another 20 coming. But there we are. Great to see you, Nick. Thank you very much
Thanks,
indeed.
Mike.
Nick Freeman,
Thank you.
Mr. Loophole, of course, the man who has got all manner of knowledge about what happens when you drive a car and you get into trouble with it. We'll, I'm sure, be talking to him again very soon.